I'm joined now by Michael Danby, former Labor parliamentarian. Michael, thank you very much for joining me. The US has shot down...
Thanks, Amanda. Muzzle tov on your new gig, by the way.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I wanted to talk with you about the alleged spy balloon that has been shot down over the US. Now, if it is a spy balloon, and it does look like it is, then China has engaged in a clear breach of the US's sovereignty. But that seems like it would be an awfully big risk for China to take. What's the real agenda going on here?
A balloon like this, firing at 60,000 metres, can take electronic intelligence from the Minuteman bases in Montana, which had passed overhead, which we assume the Chinese spy satellites that are also going overhead can't. So they push with their wolf warrior activities as hard as they can until they see what the reactions are from the West. I am surprised that the military did not, the US military, General Milley did not do what the President asked him to do on Wednesday and take the thing down. It sailed all across the United States, and the Chinese takeout from this is that the US military is weak. It gives the President the softest advice, and now they shoot it down over South Carolina in the sea, where they have to establish a perimeter around it, more bureaucracy, and wait till a salvage ship arrives so that the submarine that kidnapped Harold Holt can't steal the balloon material back. I mean, really, talk about a pathetic circumstance of events which will only encourage Beijing.
Douglas Wise, who is a former Deputy Director of the US Defence Intelligence Agency, has speculated that the balloon, which for those who don't follow these sorts of things, isn't a party-sized balloon, it's the size and weight of 3 school buses, could have been testing a potential weapons delivery or advanced sensor system. How likely do you think those hypotheses are?
I think that's quite possible. As I say, the main thing that many military analysts have established is that from that height you establish different things than you do from satellites. So coming in at Montana, where the Americans have their ICBM bases, intercontinental ballistic missile bases, is very significant. And, you know, most of Montana is deserted. They could have shot it down there, and they should have. And, you know, General Milley should get off teaching gender studies and get back to sort of being a hardline military man. I mean, we could rely on those in the past. I felt the world was safer when we could rely on the US military being the hardest heads.
Michael, shifting gears a little, Liberal Senator Claire Chandler has said that the Australian government needs to be doing, in her words, more to take a very strong stand against the regime in Iran. Now, there's been a lot of abhorrent reports coming out of Iran in recent times. Most recently, a young Iranian couple have been sentenced to more than 10 years imprisonment because the female in the couple was caught on video dancing without a headscarf with her fiancé in front of the Azadi Tower. How should Australia be handling Iran in these circumstances?
Well, your mate Claire is a new bright spark I hadn't heard of before. Look, generally, Penny Wong, despite the fact that I really dislike her because of her cruel treatment of our mutual friend Kimberley Kitching, is doing generally a good job. But she needs to take Senator Chandler's advice and step up a bit on Iran. We should both be classifying the Iranian Revolutionary Guards that are suppressing all of these young women in Iran as a terror group. Canada has done it, the United States has done it, and the UK and Australia should not be far behind. The IRGC is sort of the SS of the Iranian regime, and we should be doing what Claire Chandler suggests too, and that is putting more personal sanctions on some of the cruel Iranian leaders who are doing these terrible things to women in Iran. And that's that wonderful Magnitsky legislation that Kimberley and colleagues in the Senate and the Australian Parliament passed before her death. So let's Penny Wong, doing give you a B, but you should step up on Iran.